frequencies, everybody. Black Fit Witch, the Dream Oracle, is here, and it is Love Day, so they say, that I call it, this month and this day, but this whole month is giving love. This whole month is giving love, y'all. It is really giving love. Like, if you don't feel it, even at work, yesterday, among my colleagues, like, it's so beautiful. Like, we was like, they told me, they was like, we feel the love coming from you. Yeah, I said, because I'm giving love. And they said, we receiving and we giving. And we started doing this with our hands. It was so beautiful. They was like, we get receiving and we giving. We receiving and we giving. And that's what's going on right now. Like, we receiving and we giving love to each other. And it doesn't matter if you're in a romantic partnership or not. Like, it's giving love, and you have to have the heart to receive it. You have to be open enough in your being, in your spirit, to be able to release any karmic like things that you've done in your life. And just like I shared yesterday, the dream that I had that I went into 3 times, and then at the pump yesterday when I went to get gas, there were 3 pennies on the ground. Same day, same energy. And I felt like in that in that dream that I was breaking some negative karma, because all karma isn't bad. It's just what we're always creating, right? We're creating in every moment. That's just what we're doing. You can look at it as a positive or a negative, but we are creating karma. So that's why it's very important to be conscious of what we say, do, feel, all of that, and think, because it has an effect on what we're creating. So, in my dream last night, and it has been on me now. I woke up this morning with this on me, of this is something that I have to do. So, and just to give you all a peek into this reality life, I have a 22-year-old son. I am 43 years old, young, I would say, 43 young, 43 years young, they say. And my son is 22. My son will be 23 in November 23rd. He's a Sagittarius. And so his father and myself did not get married. I decided when I was about 22, after I had my son at 21, that marriage at that time was not for me. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to get my degree. I really wanted to continue going on to school, going to my career, and that was my goal. And even though he was an unplanned pregnancy, and we had been knowing each other since we was 13, we started dating when we were 19, I felt like that wasn't for me to put my life on the back burner just because I got pregnant at a younger age than some of my friends. And so he wanted to get married after I had my son, and I just wasn't in that space. He was very controlling about it. I had even taken the ring. We had even went to marriage counseling, and after much deliberation, for me, at 22 years old, I was 21, 22. I may have been late 21, early 22, somewhere in there. No, I was 20, somewhere in 22. Yeah, I was somewhere in there. I decided I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to do that anymore, even though we were living together. He was taking care of me. It would have been some woman's dream to be taken care of and not have to work, and all you got to do is just be a housewife. He didn't want me to go to school. He wanted me to be a housewife. He wanted to have more children. That just wasn't what I saw for my life. Fast forward, life became difficult because he was so upset. He became vindictive. So when it came down to trying to get child support, he became just crazy about visitation, even though visitation wasn't an issue. He would use my son as a trap to try to get me over to his house, or he wouldn't be at my door, early in the morning when he had visitation, saying he needed something for my son to see if I had somebody in my apartment. He moved into my same apartment complex that I moved into once we, separated. And I, told him I didn't want to be in a relationship anymore. So there were a number of things that happened. We went through a child custody battle for over 15 years. And for some people, most men will say, the woman has the upper hand. Even though I was going to school to get my farm deed, the judge actually awarded him custody at the time. And I had to get an attorney and fight to get custody back of my son. And this went back and forth. If I dated somebody, he went back to court. He wanted to get custody. It was a custody battle for that. So my life as I was raising my son was very difficult for me to be serious with anybody because, I was, raising a child with one source of income, but I wasn't single because I did have my parents' help. I had a lot of family help. But I was one income and I was an entrepreneur, and I felt like spending time with my son was more important than just going all out and being in this career and not having time for my child. I was there, I was the Cub Scout master. I was at every AAU game. I was at every first day of school. I was a school teacher mom if the teacher needed anything. I was just there. I was there for my son. He was the only one I had, and I had time to do it. And I'm saying all that to say, fast forward, now he's 22. I now have my life back. Of course, I'm dating. I'm in a beautiful, loving relationship. I love my partner. He is amazing. And I'm amazing to him, and we reciprocate energy. But I had a dream last night about my child's father. And I've had dreams about him before because, there is a reality in which we did get married, in which we did continue a family. There is a timeline of that. And it was giving Valentine's Day energy, y'all. And I don't even I'm not Saint Valentine. I'm not even with all that, but it was giving that whole love energy in it. And we had this apartment, and it wasn't here in Memphis. It was somewhere else. But anyway, he surprises me with this huge box, heart-shaped chocolates on the bed. We went back to get it. His sister came down to visit, and we was there visiting. She was there visiting, and we were getting ready to go somewhere. He had some things planned, and it was just weird because it kind of meshed in with the energy of my current partner now as well. So I wake up, I really didn't think much of it till I was listening to Wayne Dyer. And, I love the way Wayne Dyer talks about the Tao. He was the reason why I got into Taoism back in 2017 because I had listened to him, and then I was introduced to it by my mentor that passed couple of years. I think my mentor passed, last year. Jamal. So Jamal, introduced me to receive the 3 treasures. I had, a couple of people, Terrence, who was one of the Reiki practitioners I used to use that has great energy. And then Jamal was a sound healer, Reiki healer. He was really into that. My mentor, who passed, they actually gave me the invitation to receive the Tao and go through my 3 treasure ceremony. But I had already listened to Wayne Dyer talk about the Tao back in 2013. I really didn't understand much about it, but I was intrigued. And I was just listening to him. While I was listening to him this morning, it popped up on my YouTube feed. And I was like, okay, because I'm very aware of what I listen to in the morning. So I was listening to him, and he talked about the Tao, but he talked about it in respect to his ex-wife, and how he went and apologized to his ex-wife about the way that he treated her when they were married, his infidelities. But he wanted to thank her for still being there and sharing that portion of his life with him, and creating this wonderful daughter that they have now. He said, and even though he wasn't the husband that he should have been for her, he thanked her for sharing the life. And he said a noble man is respected by him being able to reflect and even go back and understand what may have been some mishaps or challenges in his life, and stand up to them, and be able to go back and kind of like have that conversation. And I felt like in that dream, when he shared that, it was ironic to me that I had that dream about my child's father in that Valentine's energy. And it wasn't so much that it was sharing the timeline, but it also was like, because I haven't talked to him since my mother died. My mother died 4 years ago, and he called me, expressing his sympathy and empathy or whatever for her passing. Mind you, I told you I've been knowing this man since I was 13. And it was in that moment that Wayne Dyer shared that on what I was listening to this morning on one of his discussions on YouTube, that it came to me like that dream wasn't just about me seeing another timeline. That dream was about me leveling up to the fact that I decided and I made a decision to share a portion of my life and create a child with someone. And even though it didn't work out, even though I didn't want to move forward with the relationship, and he's done some things that's irrelevant, because a lot of people will say, well, he took you through all of this hell, and he half-ass paid child support, and he was being vindictive, and 15 years of custody battles just because you wanted to go to school, just because you wanted to date and have a life, and yes, he did those things. But now, 20 years later, I look at it, and because of the maturity and the wisdom that I've gained throughout my spiritual walk, it's afforded me the opportunity to reflect and be like, okay, I understand it, but I chose that reality. I chose him as a partner at that time. I chose to, have sex with him unprotected and get pregnant. I chose to have the child. I chose all of those things that, people will say, well, she did this, she did that, or he did this and he did that. And we like to point the finger and the blame, but you chose. You choose. And this reality here is fucking free will. And I chose. And maybe, for whatever reason, that choice was for me to live in this moment and have this reflection and have this understanding and forgiveness in my heart for him. Being that we were both young and not understanding. We both came from a 2-parent household, and that's what he wanted for his son. Although I'm more of a free bird and a butterfly that I've always been, no matter how conscious I was, that, I'm kind of like, I want what I want, and I don't care what it looks like to society. I don't care what it looks like in front of other people, and I don't care what my parents think. I really don't give a fuck. So that's just me. But now that I'm older, I'll be 44 in June, and and that's still very young. That's an age, that's a physical age, but spiritually, I'm ages and ages and infinity. I can't even put a number on it, because energy never dies, right? So who knows how old me encapsulated in a physical form or not has been around various universes and solar systems and existences. Who knows? I don't know. But having this moment of reflection on relationships. And I just want to share that with people because, it may be somebody who listens to this who may feel like, hey, men have done me wrong, or I've been in relationships where they treated me like this and like that, and I have this thought process about love and relationships, and I'm guarded and I'm afraid, or I'm fearful, or I don't want to enter that anymore. I don't have time for that. You're not opening yourself up to the possibilities of the all-encompassing love in which what this universe wants to give to us fully. You're closing yourself off because of the poor choices that you've made based on the level of consciousness that you were on at that time. So once we level up spiritually, we level up to a higher frequency of self, we're able to align and usher in a higher love frequency that we're a vibrational match to. And we make ourselves open and available for that to come in, not by being closed, not by being guarded, not by being afraid or fearful of what someone else may do, because that's in a space or energy of attachment. We're not attached to what someone else may do because of joy, or happiness to make them fulfill us. That's what Oshun is about. That's my incarnation objective. My IO is Oshun. And what that is seeing joy in all things. Joy and love in all things. Giving, seeking nothing in return. The beauty and the love of that, right? And so when you give and you seek nothing in return, that doesn't mean you're not going to get anything in return. The beauty of that, saying that, is knowing that you give seeking nothing in return, that you're going to get it in return because you're giving it. And that's the laws of the universe. It has to come back to you. But you have to be open to receive it. And so I know everybody has created like this Galentine's Day and all this other stuff because they're not in a romantic relationship with, someone, a partner. And it doesn't matter about that. We don't give in to what the world has called this day to be, but we make our own. We stamp it as what we want it to be. And this energy of love has been on me. I'm giving it, to people I see on the streets, just like I was just waving at the man who was just walking. I'm giving it to the people that I get to meet, the children that I get to interact with and touch. The loving energy is around us, and we have to be able to embrace it. And once we embrace it, we give it, we receive it, we give it, receive it. We're a vibrational match for that divine partner to come into our existence and come and share this life with us, because this is all a part of us being here on this earth walk, right? So I just wanted to share that. It was a beautiful reflection that connected with my dream. Definitely connected with my dream. So as always, you all, I'm always gonna leave you, you know what it is, in peace and high frequencies, everybody.